Park's one of the favourites on the BSB calendar. It's a fantastic track. Been making most of the dry weather Friday and Saturday because we're not sure quite what's coming on Sunday, but looking at the forecast, is it Hurricane Bertha or something they're calling it? But no, it's been okay. It's obviously our second time here this year, so people are going fast, and the pack's closed up somewhat because people have already got some data here. Qualified second row of the grid, so happy enough with that.
So far at Oulton, it's been great. The weather's been dry, good track conditions. Chris has been quite competitive in all of the free practice sessions. He did a really good job in qualifying, got through at Q3, and he's starting from P6, second row of the grid. I think we're in for a dry race later on today, race 1. It's obviously a triple header, looking forward to that. So we'll get a chance to see how whether or not that race pace is there. If it is, I'd expect him to be trying to defend, score a good handful of points and defend his showdown title aspirations. But tomorrow it's almost certainly going to be wet, and we've got decent. We've had a decent amount of sessions in the rain now this year so far. So it's not like we'll be dialing in alien settings. So we'll have a good bike. And Chris generally does quite well in the wet. So I'm looking forward to two good finishes from him tomorrow too. James is getting on great. Probably much better than we could have expected. He's been recuperating in the Isle of Man after his crash. He's had extensive hyperbaric chamber treatment, physiotherapy, hydrotherapy, and he's mobile and quite strong already. So much will depend on his continued recovery and his progress over the next couple of weeks. But we've arranged some tests with the organisers for a date just before the Cadwell round. So if he's fit and well, I'm sure he'll be undergoing an assessment with MSVR with a view to riding at Cadwell.
The lights took a long time, and finally we get the lights out. The race is on, the first of 3 this weekend. Is it going to be the only one in beautiful conditions?
Walker still ain't there. Good running from Walker, this. That's Linfoot calves underneath Walker there going into his lucky chicane.
So almost 3 abreast then as they come charging down towards Lodge Corner. Bridewell's looking inside Walker, and he does indeed produce the pass. Yeah. So Milwaukee Yamaha 2 goes through into 4th place. Yeah. Down to Lodge Corner. Oh, and moved by Keogh. Kianari goes through on Hopkins. So Keogh going forwards again. Let's check out his lap time.
I'm not sure Chris Walker might have some issue here. He's going backwards like you can't believe it.
Yeah,
I don't know what. I actually don't know what's going on there. Whether it's a mistake from Walker, Lodge, or whether he's got a machine issue, because he's dropped back just in that last half lap. Oh, that's Walker.
And Chris Walker's gone down. That's the end of the Lloyd's British GBmoto interest in this race because the veteran Nottinghamshireman has gone.
The boys are just repairing the bike, as you might have seen earlier. He had a tip-off. It was just lost the front coming into Lodge. It was a low crash. Chris is all right. The bike's pretty okay. There's just a couple of things to put right on it. And we're going to have to regroup and go again tomorrow. Get some good results tomorrow, get some points back on the board.
I had an issue with the rear brake, and because of what happened to James's bike earlier on in the year, I thought the rear brake caliper had come away from the bike because the pedal had gone completely. But because of that, I went into Lodge thinking about that. Didn't tip in with quite the same conviction I normally would. It went wide, but what it did give me was the opportunity to have a look down. I looked round, the caliper was still there, so it gave me the confidence to push on again. The rear brake gradually came back a bit with pumping it around the corners. Tipped into Lodge, I'd pretty much got the corner done, and just where the track drops away, the front let go, and that was it. So I didn't do a great deal wrong. You know, I was piloting it at the time, so there's nobody else involved but me. But when you look on the data, I hadn't done a great deal different to the laps previous to it.
The boys have done a great job of turning around the bike. It was a small get-off and therefore a light crash, so we're thankful for that. I think the damage really has been done in not being able to score some points yesterday, and the result of that is Chris just slipping out of what is currently the potential showdown position. So yeah, we've got some work to do. Chris is a really experienced guy, and yesterday was just one race on one day of racing. So, you know, we've got 2 races today and another 2 meetings to do something really positive, and I'm sure he's capable of doing that.
I'm not a fan of the wet weather. I've had some great results in the wet, I've had some great results in the dry, but there's a little bit more left to chance in the rain. People around you making mistakes can cause you time on the track. There's not a lot of margin for error in the wet, but it's makes exciting racing all the same, and the bike works, you know, well wet and dry, so fingers crossed. But the focus is still on the showdown. It's not unachievable from where we are. We've only just slipped out of it, and there's people around me who've still got an opportunity to make plenty of mistakes.
A damp but drying. When the lights go out, we're off. Josh Brooks on the white, black and red Yamaha gets good traction out of the blocks. Here comes Chris Walker bumping his way through there inside Stuart Easton as they go into Old Hall Corner. So Easton goes wide and Walker clips through inside at Shell Oil.
Yeah, you don't have to be asked twice.
Chris Walker still has the advantage over Dan Linfoot as they fan out. He's going to have to block Linfoot. Linfoot cuts up the inside. Kirkham's trying to squeeze through as well. Walker can't hold off Linfoot. The North Yorkshireman launches the Quattro Plant Kawasaki out of deer leaf, snatches a fine 4th place. Linfoot does it. He's thrilled with that. Walker, Easton, Kirkham, Waters cross the line. Sunday of mixed conditions. The lights out, they're off. Shaky Byrne gets a terrific drive on pole position, and Keogh too, and Josh Brooks right up in the inside of everybody, while round the outside comes Stuart Easton. There's Chris Walker with Bridewell. Walker getting the better of Bridewell there. He copped him going down towards Island Bend. Linfoot and Quattro Plant Kawasaki get their first rostrum finish of the season, with Easton in 5th, Waters 6th, Walker in 7th, Bridewell and Kirkham completing that top 9.
Chris rode a really good race. At one point in the middle of the race, he was almost the fastest man on track for 3 or 4 laps. Small mistake in the middle of the race dropped him 2 or 3 places, and he really struggled. He got one back, got in front of Bridewell again. That's good for his championship, so we've kind of beaten Tommy Bridewell in 2 races today. He finds himself in 6th now, still in the showdown, still with 2 rounds to go, and hopefully we'll be looking forward to having a double garage again when we get to Cadwell with James back and riding fit and well.